Okay, so this is another way to set up an MSD RPM activation switch 8950. So I have it all wired up. The only wires that I do not have wired up is the gray wire, which I didn't have any gray wire left, so I changed it to brown, but it is attached to the gray wire here. And the white wire, which that goes to your tachometer. That gets a signal and it tells it that, okay, go ahead and close the ground, and it will actually activate your solenoid. I have the relay here. I'll give you a schematic. I have a switch here. This is to turn on and off your Beyond switch or your solenoid, so that you don't end up having constant power run into it at all times. You can cut it off when you're not using it, like i.e. when you're doing a burnout or something like that, or if you're just driving down the road and you just want to hand shift yourself. Master cutoff right there. This switch right here simulates if it's going to be your ignition switch, just so you're aware. So I'll simulate that I'll be activating the ignition switch, turn on power. From here you got positive. Positive is going to run all the way down. It's going to one of the wires is going to run here to this switch, to the hot post. So there's power on this side, which I can demonstrate by doing this. Power's on that side, but since the switch is off, no power is on that side. So again, that's the hot wire. Switch is in the off position, it's off. Okay. Same thing with your solenoid. Nothing here, nothing there, due to the fact that you're cutting all the power off between the relay. Alright, so the black wire, I have it ran to where it goes to this grounding strip. The other end of the ground strip goes to the negative post on the battery, as you can see here. Alright, your other wires, like your black wire that comes off the MSD switch, is going to go to the grounding. So that could be this simulating the grounding of your race car or whatever it is. The yellow wire is going to go to, I believe it is 86 on your relay. Okay. The red wire from your activation switch goes to switched ignition power. So again, this is simulating your master cut on and off switch on your race car. So if you turn it on, there's power that's going to be applied to this box and to the relay. Okay. So cut that off. That's simulated in the back of your car. You just turn the power off. Okay. Going beyond there, you got the red wire there. On the relay, so on 30, you're going to have constant power. Okay, that's constant 12 volt power. That goes to 30. That switch is over here. The center post, which is 87 alpha, that goes to your red wire on your solenoid. So from the center post, I have it to the switch that is for my on and off, so I can do my burnout and I don't have to worry about my shifter springing open on me for any reason. And then continuing on down to the red wire on your solenoid. Because if you leave it on, this will get hot. You don't want it to be burning up or anything like that. It's a waste of using your shifter. Right? And the top wire, which is 85, that is switched power. So switched power at that time. This is per one of the schematics I found. It actually works. Since I do not have a tachometer lying around, or I can't simulate this in an actual car, there's ways you can do it. You can jump the wires on the relay, and it will simulate, okay, open ground, so it just releases, because this will hold back. As of right now, there's no power applied to this, so you see it's not grabbing, right? So there's no complete circuit, no power and ground. But when power and ground is applied, i.e. let's turn on the race car, and let's turn on the activation switch of the solenoid. Now when power and ground is now applied to the solenoid, it locks. Okay? So what happens is your RPM, your tachometer sends a signal through the white wire to your switch, and it says, hey, you've met this RPM, go ahead and cut off the ground to the relay, which then cuts off the power, cuts the power off to the relay, and then it cuts off the actual solenoid. So to simulate it, instead of jumping wires or anything, I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to cut off the power. Solenoid popped open. I'll do it again. Turn on the, you're going to have your master switch on. You're going to shift back into first gear. It locks in. You launch, you hit X amount of RPMs. At that time, it's going to signal through the white wire to your activation switch, and sends it to the relay and says, okay, cut off the relay. Opens up. Pretty simple, pretty easy to use. Basic, just pay attention to your wiring, and should be good to go.